Trevor Tlani Kumalo, Bonto Nombolelo, Rosabella Kumalo, Vincent Biggie Kumalo. My father has the name Biggie, ironically, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so that's
yes,
nice.
yes.
It's always nice to speak about.
So
And
when
yeah,
I say big up
shout out to
KZN.
big up to KZN, big up to KZN. And yeah, going forward in terms of who I've become since my birth from my parents is a young man in South Africa. I'm a South African. I'm in all
Proudly
instances,
South African.
very proudly South African. I come from a very mixed background. Lots of Indian folks in my community, lots of African folks in my community, a few colors in my community. So it's been nice growing up with the different kinds of people. I don't understand racism because of the kind of like upbringing I've had. It's been nice. Not that I don't understand it in that sense, because obviously it's very easy to understand. But I've been blessed with good people around me who have showed me something different to what the world wants to keep on putting in my face. Yeah. So that's kind of my background. Leaving KZN for studying, came to Cape Town, so I was blessed enough for that opportunity. And yeah, learned a lot. I became something completely different, I suppose. I came here more as a sports person. Football, hence Mr. Ballon, if you know.
So you're a footballer.
Well, I'm nice in the field as well, you know what I mean?
So you're a man of multi-talent, eh?
No man, like for me it's all about expression. I like freedom. I can say that is my that's what I love. And that's what I've come to find in hip hop is freedom, and playing sports was a way to get out. It's a way to get out the hood for Americans. It's a way for us to get out our ghettos, because the hood is even okay. The ghettos that we live in are more hectic, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we want to leave the ghettos and Amakai and all those places, and so we see the people on the football, on the screens, and we think, yeah, we can do that. You know, we have legs, we can kick, and we aspire, and then there's politics that we don't know about. That's what I've come to learn, you know? And it's similar to music, you know, but I think music's at an age now where artists can be more independent and not lean so much on these politicians. Yes, yeah. You know what I mean, in a sense. So
it's a dirty game, eh?
Hey, life is a dirty game. Life is a dirty game, and I say that with beauty and understanding of beauty. You know, I'm a very naive person, admittedly. I say that about myself.
Just go deeper about that.
Come again?
Just go deeper about that.
No, like I'm naive in the sense that I believe myself to have a decent heart. I have empathy. I know this much about myself. I sympathize with people on the daily. I don't struggle with that. But a life of that for a very long period, I can say, is maybe not see the uglier side of life and people. You know what I mean? And that's a blessing, if you ask me, to be honest, because I went through the majority of my life just thinking that everybody thinks like I do. And so I'm always willing to help, and so I'm always ready for someone to help me, kind of thing, you know? And kind of got the shock of my life when I started working proper after university and everything, and you meet people in the working world and you see heinous stuff, in my personal opinion, you know? I personally think people out there doing ridiculous things, and it's like, oh wow, the world is like this. And so I kind of had that shock factor, and it's been a revelation of shock factors about the darkness of this life, man, you know? And so in it, I realized that no, the trick, or what stage I'm at now is I need to embrace this darkness, not be consumed by it, because the fear. So yeah, like I was saying, being naive is not understanding the darker side of life, and so I'm embracing that darker side, not for it to consume me, is what I wanted to say, but so that I understand it's there, and so I can work within that space, because it's life regardless. You understand? I don't think it's good for those who understand and who are believers to be in a corner believing and not sharing the goodness of belief. Yes, you understand? So hip hop is kind of like that, where you have street soldiers. And I'm talking about real hip hop. When I speak hip hop, I want people to understand that I am a representative of real hip hop, and this is also who I am, going back to the question.
Because there is hip hop and there is real hip hop.
So I can say this, right, in terms of who I am, to complete it, who Mr. Ballon is, because Trevor Tlani is obviously who I am at birth, but I am a man on my own now, and I am Mr. Ballon, and I was telling you, the football, that the Ballon is the highest accolade you give a player, you know, individual accolade. So the Ballon you give to Cristiano or Messi. And so I am Mr. Ballon of this rap game, because there is no doubt I am the best to ever come in places, you know, and with respect to everybody.
Really, man, I have been listening to your music, and you are the best.
Thank you.
In South Africa, I will rate you the best.
Thank you.
I'm sorry guys, but this guy is a bomb. just wait for this bomb to come out of the shell.
Yeah.
This
Um,
is a bomb.
every-
Especially the gangster song. I think it was something like Swag.
Swag Boys.
Swag Boys.
Yeah.
That's a hit, man.
Thank you,
That's
sister.
it.
Thank you. Like a nice story about that song is, and I don't know if we're jumping or I need to wait for your questions, but can I ask personally, can we go further than that? Because I want to explain more about who I am as an artist, you know. And for me, I don't want to speak so much about myself because I want to represent something bigger than myself.
Yeah.
Understand? So, my hip hop journey, which is gonna lead me back to that song Swag Boys.
Yeah.
You know, God willing, we'll get there. So how I come to hip hop is I'm your normal guy. I've been in the matrix, you know what I mean? We went through the schooling program. We go to the university, higher education, and we aspire to be these people with status in society, you know? And that's what everybody's been pushing me, my grandmother, my mother, my grandfather. Those who love you want that for you because that's what we are told is success in this life, you know? I'm one person who learned that, hey, within the success, there's still so much sadness. And so it can't be a true success, you know what I mean? I'm a happy person, and so what happened was, I can't explain how I became an artist, to be honest with you. It's something that I cannot put to one particular thing, but it coincides with the birth of my son. And so when my son was conceived, I suppose I conceived the spirit of hip hop as well, you know. And so that was the birth of me becoming a hip hopper. So the first kind of few days was trying to learn because I'm a student of life, and everything can be learned. I need everybody who's listening to me to understand that everything can be learned. There's books that exist for anything that you want to do in life. There's a book out there. Go back to the people who have applied themselves as scholars towards things and learn things. And so I went back into hip hop in that same kind of way. Learned what the 16 is. I've heard it my whole life. I've been in hip hop my whole life. Shout out to Eminem, turned me into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lumo on the CBC, my homie. He knows he's a day one. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Husseinzo back in the day. These are my niggas, you know. So this is hip hop. Hip hop is us in brotherhood together. You know, we live in a very our South African society is nice. It's beautiful. There's so much difference. There's so much difference, and I'm not talking about the people itself, and just look at the music, you know, just look at the music, look at the kwaito, look at the house music, look at the amapiano now. All of this is a variation, and I grew up with R&B in my house, massive Michael Jackson person, because my father was massive on that, so big on your Barry Whites. I know music, so I grew up in, like, you know, your classic black house music, you know, soul music, and I remember even after school, my sister and I would go back home and play music and dance to music, you know what I mean? So it's always been a part of me in that way.
So music is your life.
I would say I've always had it is life. I've had a song for every moment of significance in my life, and I think back to it. And it's like that's how music's been a part of my journey, you know. So it's been beautiful.
I believe music is like a healing therapy. Because in every emotion that you're going through, there is a certain type of music that you can listen to. So I think it is quite a therapy to people.
I'll be honest with you. Beyond trying to establish a career and make money, we want to make money. Beyond all of that, with all of this, I want to take music to that sphere you're speaking about. We say these things, right? I'm a person who's, wait, there's science, right? And we are a people of feeling. Wherever you think you are, when I say we are a people of feeling, and if you're a person of feeling, then you know what I'm talking about, right? And the sciences don't really focus on feeling as much, if I can say. That's my reading and understanding, my opinion personally. And even with music, we can look at music scientifically, and let's understand these things that make us feel, and let's tap into these things that make us feel, so that we use them as a healing kind of medicine, as you're putting it, you understand? But that's something I'm hoping that within my lifetime, I can see starting to develop, and hopefully my son and each generation will take it forward, you know what I mean? So I'm big on this advance where we're at. I like where life, hip hop is 48 years old. You know, hip hop is only 48 years old. That is a very young person. You understand? So hip hop is young and immature, and you can see hip hop is young.
The fact that you actually understand hip hop and you even know how old hip hop is. Do you know that there's a lot of artists out there? They are saying they are into hip hop, but they don't even know anything about the history of hip hop, how old it is. But they are into hip hop. So that alone just gives me something that you are the best.
Thank you. I have a interesting story about that. To be honest, I have an interesting story. I came in like my brothers, so I'm not gonna come here and be a hater of my brother who sees what I saw in any case, you know. We love hip hop, we like the glitz, the glam, you know, the girls and everything. We want the nice life, you know what I mean? And hip hop gives us that. No, I mean hip hop is attitude at the end of the day. So look at me, Trevor Kumalo. I'm just an employee somewhere, I'm somebody's son. I am Mr. Ballon in hip hop. And sometimes they say hip hop elevates me immediately. I don't have to release a song to be elevated. I come in and who are you? I'm Mr. Bolondo. And that in itself says a lot about me. And that's hip hop. And that's the way I've understood hip hop. So I wasn't Mr. Bolondo initially. I came in without an identity because I came in perhaps with also the wrong idea of what the game is about. I knew I could rap, I could rhyme, because I've been writing essays. I told you I have an honors degree. I'm a historian, I'm an industrial psychologist, I have an ethics degree. And so I've studied things, I know how to write essays, and so writing is not difficult. Putting it into rhyme form, it's shorter, 16s are shorter than essays, and so I would write the rest of my life, this I know it's easy. And so I took advantage of that skill and said, oh, let me go rap. And I came in with a cloud basis. Cloud basis trying to be what you see. You understand? And I'm blessed as a person because I had an awakening. Shout out to Tyrese Bunny. I was with Ty at the club. And Ty is one of the people who...
Shout out Ty.
Shout out to Tyrese Bunny, man.
Love
you know,
Tyrese.
yeah, we love Tyrese Bunny, man. So, Black, excellent DJ Black. You know what I'm saying? Salute. You know,
yes.
So he's one of the people that's put me on. And that's a different story because people don't want to put you on in this game. But in any case, putting me on, I'm at the club with Ty and I'm in the industry, so to say now. And I'm a very cool, calm, collected individual. You know what I'm trying to say? Very cool, calm, collected. I don't rush myself. I'm easygoing. I like to describe myself. And I was not in that mode on that particular night. And another friend of mine, shout out to Eltino Carizon, olare, homie. You know, that's my homie. He gave me lots of love to push me to where I'm at today as well. So I appreciate him a lot. He's part of my team as well, you know. So shout out to Eltino Carizon. And so at the club, and so Tino saw me also out of my element, and he spoke to me and told me that, no, my guy, I see you not being yourself. And Ty spoke to me and said, no, man. You know, there's this thing in you that isn't right. Yeah. And so I spoke out to my gents. I was like, yo, bro, like, I have this fear in me, man. And I'm not a person who's ever been scared of anything, you know what I'm saying? And I was overcome.
So do you think, is it the environment that makes you scared, or what makes you scared?
I'll be honest.
Where is the fear coming from?
I'll be honest. I was seeing that everything that I want, I could have. I saw the reality of this thing that I'm pursuing happening before my eyes. And the reality of it is this: you have to be ready to play. As a footballer, as a sports person, you train, and you must be prepared for game day. You understand? You can never show up on game day thinking you've seen the people who do it and you're gonna play with the stars. It doesn't work that way. You have to put in the hard work. And so I'm a baby in this industry. Understand? I'm a very, very, as young as hip hop is, I'm an infant myself. Understand? So I think maybe it was part of that. But I'm also a spiritual person, and so my spirit was shaken. That's what happened there. It wasn't my psychology that was shaken. I have a very strong mind. It was my spirit that was shaken because I had to align my spirit with the right things. The cloud basis was not the right things for the person I am. It was contradictory to everything that I've been living my life as well. You know what I mean? So going back to that awakening that I had, right? One of the things Tyrese said to me was, yo, a man of God has no fear. He fears nothing. And that struck me as like, wait, bro, that's so deep. A real believer in God doesn't have fear. So why am I scared? What? And then he said, check yourself. You know, and that's how we speak in hip hop. We speak real. He says, check yourself. You know what I mean? And so I had a whole journey. Where I had music released already. You know, I have good music. Like I told you, the art of writing is there. And I know I'm dope at writing. That's not the question. But
that I believe.
It's the essence of what I'm pushing now that was really not aligned. You know, so had an awakening that led me back to my people, to be honest. It led me back home to look at myself with fullness. I wasn't looking at myself with fullness. You see me with hair now. I've been a baldy my whole life. I've been a baldy my whole life. That is now deep identity crisis, if you want to call it, and it's deep identity issues that I feel like many people live with without understanding that it's even an issue. Why did I cut my hair my whole life? I can't really say. But I look at myself now. I can't go back to cutting my hair right now. I just want to experience this, and this is the way God made my hair. This is the way God made me. And imagine the sight of God from up there looking at the beautiful flowers bloom, and I keep on cutting my blooms, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of like psychology I have now.
I think he's not in the business of
obviously, yes.
All those things
yes,
now,
yes,
he's
yes.
given us everything and dominion over everything.
Everything,
so
yes,
we have
yes,
the
yes.
right to do what we think or what we believe is right.
I fully mess with that without wanting to say, I almost said the F word, you know, such it is. Because I look at a T.I., for example. T.I. makes that look good. You understand? T.I., he got clean cut.
No, you need to
Understand?
beautify yourself, man.
No, for me, it's just a different experience now. It isn't a thing of, I hate the old me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just like, oh no, I can be many different kind of, yeah, but that's the beauty of it is that
I know I can.
I know I can be what I want to be. Shout out to Nas. You know what I'm saying? He's a legend. So these are the people that teach us in such. This is music.
Yeah.
A song like that, you know, artists like Nas will be looked at for, no, Brooklyn or wherever. I'm not even sure where it's at, so sorry if it's not Brooklyn. You know? These people are particular about these things, you know. So whatever bridge is from that, you know, Queens or whatever. So that's what people focus on. But that I know I can. That's such a beautiful song. You know what I'm trying to say? And
you see the motive, like you, even if you don't believe in yourself, you know, you just motivate yourself that I know what I can be.
It goes back to
If I work hard.
embracing
So
the dark for me.
It includes the working hard again.
You have to work hard.
You have to work hard
But
to be what you want to be.
Nas is one of those street rappers, right? From the hoods and everything, and that life is dark. But he's speaking about something so positive. You understand? I'm the opposite of that way. I've had a very sheltered life. I've had a very good life in essence. You understand? Parents were they were hard workers enough. Mother's a teacher, father's a police officer. That's like your average from that time and age. You understand? That's what you could be. They were that, and they instilled good ethics in me. And so I'm not a gangster. I've never been in a gang. I've never done anything of the sorts.
You think that your father was a cop or your father is
My
a
father
cop
was a
and your
police
mother
officer.
is a
Yes,
teacher or
yes,
friends?
yes.
You're in trouble.
In trouble, but blessed at the same time.
And also well disciplined.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming from
Because
a
you
school
ran
of
away from
yes.
Being
I'm coming
beaten.
My father hit me all of 2 times in my life that I remember. It's memorable. And that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't that he was out to hit me, but those 2 times, they were for very good reasons. I know. Now, as an adult, I can see that, you know. And my mother was nice with the whooping. My mother's been nice with the whooping. Whatever she had with in her hand. No, it's like, but it was like for good reasons. It's for good reasons. Like, I'm gone the whole day, and I don't get that. I know I'm safe, whatever. But it's like, you're in someone else's house, and I have a child now, and I get that. No, you can't be in someone else's house the whole day, son. It's just not becoming you. So it's like, this is a good place to come from. So I give thanks to my parents a lot, you know. So yeah, give thanks. My father's in the grave. Rest in peace to him. You know, 6 deep. I've been digging deep, so that's how we live this life deep. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let's just jump up
Yes.
to the new album or to the album that you have released. Just tell us about the album that you released. How many songs are there? And tell us, what's your Inferno?
Oh, what's my inferno? What's my fire? What drives me? What drives me is kind of going back to where we were at with the Tyrese Barney and the awakening that kind of happened to me was becoming true hip hop now. That's why I'm calm now. I know what I'm doing. I know what I have to do. This is more of a job now because I see my purpose and it's like, okay, I have to do this for the game. I have to do this for hip hop. I have to do this for myself. You understand? And this is worth doing to me now because I'm a person of love and hip hop is love. That's what I've learned. And so I found the gospel of hip hop. Understand? I found the gospel of hip hop, which is it exists. It's a natural gospel. Seek it, get a PDF, read it. If you love music, you like hip hop, and you want to know what it is, the true hip hop, I'm the one to bring this voice back because no other young person is speaking about this gospel.
So you're the PDF.
I am the PDF. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I love PDFs. I've got PDFs on my phone of readings. Reading is important, you know. Shout out to the teacher, Keris One. You know, Keris One is massive. I've been listening and reading his stuff as well because he's a founding father. So let's speak about these founding fathers. Let's not talk about me. And most artists want to do that thing of take a platform and try to market it all good and
talk
well.
about themselves, forgetting about the people that raised them.
You know, in the culture of the Zulus, you know, you introduce yourself, you trap and taganipha kuma umntu mdlelazi amashobana, uthatha umuntu umchitha umyanga ngendaba, umabaso basentabeni ashonela abantu bedlile. You know, ithakazelo, this is just a lineage, a remembrance of your forefathers, you know. And hip hop needs to go back to that kind of understanding, that kind of that kind of mentality where we remember where we come from so that the game doesn't look the way it does today, you know what I mean? So when I went back to the forefathers of hip hop, let's start with DJ Cool Herc. I don't know if you know about DJ Herc. Okay. I'm here to teach. I'm here to teach not only myself, because I'm a student myself, but whoever is interested in actually knowing what is there to be learned, you can fact check everything I say. I'm the
So
kind of
explain
person.
to us, go own and explain to us. Since you're the PDF,
I'm the
let's
PDF.
read
Let me put it down here. This is
Yeah.
now a class, no more an interview. So let's switch it, right? So DJ Cool Herc is a DJ from the States. He had Jamaican roots. Shout out to Jamaica. I need to go to Jamaica. That's one of the places. Get this money, we're going to Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? So Jamaica has a special thing because Bob is from there. Love Bob Marley. Shout out to Bob Marley and the family. And so DJ Herc had roots in Jamaica. Long story short, he was a DJ, figured out something different about break beats. That's how hip hop was birthed, to him breaking a certain way of playing the record. Okay, cool. And then where the MC comes in is you get Africa Bambaataa. Shout out to Bam, the godfather of hip hop, you know. So Africa Bambaataa was a gang leader. This is a beautiful story that people need to know. I might not even talk about myself. I would rather talk about the story because this is more important for the game than my singles or whatever, you know. So Africa Bambaataa was a gang leader in the United States of a massive gang apparently. And so he wrote a writing contest. And so go figure, a gang leader who enters a writing contest, right? And he wins a writing contest, a UNICEF writing contest. And then he goes to Africa, give thanks, right? And so when he goes to Africa, he goes to South Africa and he goes to KwaZulu-Natal.
KZN.
Coincidence? I think not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what happened to Africa Bambaataa in South Africa.
So in other words, to say KZN
and
is the house.
I'm just speaking what the truth is. You can infer for your own inferno what you like. You know what I mean? But this.
Big up to KZN, the hip hop house, the hip hop place.
Give up to KwaZulu-Natal, Zulu
Yes.
Nation, the universal Zulu Nation. Yeah, we're going to speak about this and there will be more of an understanding of what this is, right? So let me just have a sip of the RK, as the philosopher said, you know. And yes, so Africa Bambaataa came to South Africa, KZN, right? As I don't even know his name before Africa Bambaataa, right? So he lived as...
One of the best hip hop artists in KZN.
Thank you for that. Shout out to Nancy C. Kid is big killing. I'm a big fan of Nancy C, to be honest. Hell nah, that jam is fire still because I heard it just the other day. But okay. Shout out to Take Notes. I was watching Take Notes videos.
Yay!
That's why I remember the Nancy C thing. Shout out to Take Notes. Yeah.
Salute, man.
Salute. Yeah. This is hip hop. We're family. We're all family. So
Take notes.
Take notes, people. Give thanks, you know. So Africa Bambaataa goes to KZN, and then I don't know what his name was, like I said. When he goes back to the States, he's Africa Bambaataa. And he organizes this gang to stop ganging and stop killing. And he's like, yo, let's find a way to be recreational in a more positive, fun manner. And this is the birth of hip hop. It had no name. It has no name in essence. But we will, it is hip hop because, that's the name that's grown now. But it is a movement.
Just to cut you short,
Yes.
do you know that a lot of people, they misunderstand hip hop because when they hear about hip hop, their thoughts or they are thinking in their mind, they think that hip hop is all about gangsters and all that, or motivating gangsters. So this show, I think it will help people to know more about hip hop. That hip hop actually takes the people from the streets to be better people. Welcome, guys. Before we take a break, we're talking about the misunderstanding of hip hop, because a lot of people often misunderstand hip hop. That you even stop your child from listening to hip hop because we believe that hip hop is all about gangsters, it's all about gun shows, it's all about sexual things. So with the understanding that you have given us, or with the knowledge that you have given us, the PDF.
Yes, the PDF.
That you have given us.
Mr. PDF, that's the new title, Mr. PDF,
It just gives us more light, or you shed more light to us that hip hop is not all about all these things, but it actually helps people, taking people from the streets, give them something to do so that they will stay away from all the bad habits that they do. So maybe continue on that topic and give us more of the hip hop and more of these forefathers.
Hip hop, yeah. Like just even besides the forefathers, like my favorite rapper, one of my favorite rappers is Meek Mill. He's a very street guy turned to success, That's a beautiful story. That's hip hop, But that's not the true essence of hip hop in totality. He is actually now very more conscious and more speaking what the young need to hear. But going back to Africa Bambaataa, him turning gangsters into people who are saying, no, let's not be in gangs no more. Let's protect our community. Let's have fun in a good way. That's what hip hop is. Hip hop is us having fun in a good way. Understand? Dancing and having fun is the best way to have fun. It's clean. And that's what the true hip hop was. That's why they had street bashes back in the day, from here to the end of the earth. You understand? So the forefathers, have taught me, because I'm a student of the game, give thanks to the forefathers in the gospel of hip hop yet again. Hip hop has 4 elements. You know, that's what he said. The first element is the DJ. DJ Cool Herc, one of the first DJs, give thanks to him. You know, you have the MC, your Bambadas, your Carrier One, your Nas, your Jay-Z's, Mr. Ballon, your MC. You know what I'm trying to say? Part of that school. You get your graffiti artists, you know, which is artwork. Then you get your b-boys. These are the 4 elements of hip hop. These 4 elements of hip hop can make you rich. Let me tell you that. It might not be big in South Africa, b-boy is big in Europe. People get paid for that. You understand? Graffiti art and stuff like that. There's a hip hop world that is more than what we know. So there's hip hop is worldwide. You understand? So in Japan, you know, they like that kind of stuff, and it's all hip hop stuff. And so use the 4 elements. You don't have to be a rapper or a DJ. There's something else in hip hop for you as a person. That's my story to you, and that's what I want to share with everybody who loves hip hop. The 4th element is actually the first element. It's knowledge. Hip hop is all about knowledge, because what changes Africa Bambaataa from a gangster to a hip hopper is knowledge. There's an awakening that he went through from his travel. You must have a journey in life. You know what I'm saying? All the prophets had journeys or something. So you journey, you awaken, you learn something, you see something. He saw his own people. I don't know what happened. You know, there's rituals in KwaZulu-Natal. Give thanks to KwaZulu-Natal. Africa Bambaataa, Africa Bayambata. You know, so they whatever blanketed over Africa, as they named him. He went back, and the spirit of hip hop was born. And I am a Zulu today, recognizing that, no, this is beautiful, because why? Going back to the king of the Zulus, Ushaga, he was an embracer of the people that came in and around. Yes, he was a leader. He unified people through the wars and everything, right? That is prophetic in itself if you look at what has to happen after he united the people. If we were weaker people, you know what I'm trying to say? So that is prophetic. And then thereafter, when he receives the people, he doesn't go on a killing spree. We know that the people lived in and amongst the people. And the way of the Zulu is that, no, we believe in one God, and we are known by many names. Understand? And we don't argue and kill over the names of God as people do. And I found this in hip hop. This is actually the article of faith of the gospel of hip hop, which I'm going to keep on speaking about for those who are interested. You know, so that in essence has been my studying or my learning up until this point. I'm still studying the game, and I felt it's important to begin the interview at least with this part of the interview, so that other scholars of the game can have something to work upon and go research. Let's read, people. Let's reading is cool, because knowing stuff is cool. We live in the age of knowledge, but Dr. Google and so on and so forth is very helpful. I'm on Google all the time. If I'm speaking to you, you say something I don't know, I don't have to ask you. Can Google it, but better than that, then let's Google a PDF of some sort and read something if you can't buy hard books. And so I'm into knowledge.
And contact him. His PDF.
I don't answer anybody's questions if I know what I know. You know, if I know what it is. I'm not an expert at anything.
Guys, you have just seen that this guy have a lot to give us. He have a lot in his plate. I told you guys when we started this show that this guy, wait until that bomb is
Mr.
out.
Ballon. It's Mr. Ballon. Yeah.
Shout out to you, man. So, you know what? Yeah, you have been talking about this history, and I understand, and that's the reason why I say you are the father of hip hop.
Yeah, it's Masonic how I am in hip hop. Yes.
You're the father of hip hop.
Let's look at it this way, right? If I'm the guy who has been chosen to be the one who will speak about the fact that KZN has a part to play in hip hop. And so as much as New York is the birthplace of hip hop, I'm not going to say otherwise, because the enactors of it are the people.
Okay, take us to the street of KZN, and you tell you just go on to the street. We haven't been in KZN. Tell us the street of KZN.
KwaZulu-Natal, Namandia, as Trevor Noah would say, you know. So, KwaZulu-Natal, beautiful land. If I'm going to speak about the scenery, green, rural. I've lived in Cape Town. Now, Cape Town's quite European, I can say, compared to KZN in that sense. Haven't been in Joburg at a extended period in time, but it's quite, there in comparison to KZN. There's lots more rural. Not to say KZN is rural. There's lots more that.
Now, in the description of what it is, but we want to know when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to music, and especially with you releasing your music and your music have been all over. So how are people in KZN taking your music, and what is things that are affecting the music in KZN?
Yeah. Okay, I can say that I was heavily inspired by Black Diamond when I began writing music, as proper and recording it. Black Diamond is I think they're great talent. Their style is different. These are Zulu guys who brought Zuluness to hip hop in a different kind of manner, you know. And it kind of gave me pride, to be honest, because I understand the language, and so maybe that's the difficulty for people who don't understand the language. But I hear the language, so I hear the dopeness of the music itself, and it's like, okay. So shout out to Black Diamond. I'm a big fan of those guys. They got me looking at hip hop because I'm
Black
like
Diamond, we can feel you.
Black Diamond, yeah, they're doing good work. They're doing good work. Give thanks to Black Diamond. And so I was like everybody else looking at hip hop from that very American point of view, because that's the feeders. We get things from America, and so it's understandable and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? The culture is there. But looking at Black Diamond, they were very good for me in this place and time because they're very current. They're very current and they're doing this thing and it's nice. And then you get a rapper like Nasty C, who's very, very more American style, if I have to say, you know what I'm saying? But he's also killing the game, and so hip hop is a variety of that in KZN as well, I feel. You get the Nasty C type musicians, and then you get the Black Diamond people who are more in tune with their mother tongue and the usage of it in hip hop. And I don't think it has to be a competition thing because I don't like getting bogged down in such silly things, you know what I'm saying? We have Africans living in Britain, in America. It doesn't matter, we're Africans, we know what we are. Our tongues are different, we speak French, we speak all things, man, you know, so I don't get bogged down in these things. But in terms of you asking me about KZN hip hop, shout out to Oscar. Shout out to Oscar, shout out to Mozeli, shout out to Utami. These are people who put me on. So let's go back to my beginning, right? Swag Boys, which is out, it's fire, you know what I'm saying? Because
guys, you must listen to this song.
Swag Boys. You know what I'm saying? So Swag Boys is out, it's fire. How we write Swag Boys is initially when I began my journey as an MC, discovering how to write, figuring out that okay, I'm good at writing.
But I can see you have swag.
No, like I'm
no,
too
I
nice.
know you have
I'm
the
too
swag
nice.
boys.
I've been swaggies my whole life. Like that's just how it is, man. This is how we are in KZN. Shout out to Shagaville. Shout out to Shagaville. I'm actually Bell. You know, so this is the people that this, you know, we are where we come from. And so if you see me, you see my people. They teach me how to be. You know, yeah, it's coolness, man. It's cool vibes. No hassle and bustle. Easy. We're beach goers. You know, the ocean is nice and warm. It's not as cold. You know what I'm trying to say? Come through. You know what I'm saying? So it's nice in KZN. So and like I'm saying, you get this. So shout out to Oscar and the guys that put me on. So when I began writing, I was at home during the December holidays, you say, and then I was reaching out. Because reaching out to the people that I knew in Cape Town, I had my first lesson in hip hop. It's just, whew. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is it's savage, man. And so people I expected to kind of show me love didn't immediately show me love. And so I embraced it. It's cool. I've never been a sucker upper to anybody or anything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm too easy when it comes to that. There's always another way. You know what I'm saying? So I went home. I reached out to somebody who previously had a studio. So that was in my mind. He's a friend of my brother. Shout out to Ntogozo. He's a friend of my brother. Connected with him. He was nice enough to just not ask questions, give me contact with this other guy. I expected the same kind of like response I got from other rappers that I knew, whatever. And he was loving, but it was nice because he knew me from before the rapping, so he knew me on that basis, so he embraced me as me. And so even going into studio, he didn't know what I did. He didn't know what I was going to do. You understand? So it was nice. Went into studio with my first time in studio, I tell you. The song was recorded my first ever time in studio. Like I said, I was learning the art, had my phone and a few beats, and that was basically it.
But the song was a success.
The music is going to be good. I told you writing is what I do. I've been writing since academics.
But tell me, you just in those kind of lines you talk about Ken and Abel, how is it related to the swag? Welcome guys, before we take a break, we were talking about this line that is in his song Swag, when he talks about Ken and Abel, and we wanted to know the relationship between Ken and Abel.
and the song itself.
And the song itself.
So I think to put that into context, I have to say that me as a musician, I'm an artist, man, you know, and art in itself is, and I'm multifaceted. Like I told you, I'm a behavioral scientist as well in my understanding of life. I like to observe people.
You understand people.
Yeah, so it doesn't have.
Psychologist as well.
Thank you. So for me, it's like it doesn't have to be my story all the time because I understand other person's stories as well as my own. You understand? And not everything in my life is on a level of intensity that it can bring that feeling. You know what I'm saying? So many things that you will be hearing from my music should not be taken as that is 100% me all the time. No. I want to share the lives of the people in and around me, the difficulties and the good. of other people in and around me as well as my own. And so I feel that has to be said for my music, right? And and going back to the Cain and Abel line, I told you I read a lot, and so scripture is a good read. It's the book of life, so trying to live life, and so it's nice to be well versed with that. And so that's something that's in my head. That's the story that everybody knows, that Cain killed Abel. You know what I'm trying to say? But
it's not everyone that read the word of God.
fair enough, then I suppose that's a shame if that's the case, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But we should all be well versed with reading all books. I've come across the Bhagavad Gita at some point, and a page or two of that, I was like, oh, that's nice in there. There's nice stuff everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Reading is, you don't have to be a follower of any one thing. Read. You know what I'm saying? Read and understand what's out there. So that's what I'd say about that. And the thing is, you know, I listen to my music and I know myself and I know what I'm talking about, you know, but I can understand that it might not translate. But that's the beauty of deciphering my music. That's what I'm saying. So it goes back to me being an artist and a psychologist and anthropologist and all these things where I'm watching life and I'm expressing life in a whatever format. You understand? I'm not afraid of doing poetry. I just started doing poetry. I want to do it all because this life, for me in any case, has shown me that we can do it like that. You don't have to be defined by anybody. And so for me, the art is beautiful. You can dance, you can write, you can act, you can sing, you can rap. You can express yourself and your existence and your people, and because everyone has that story to tell at the very least. And I'm telling not just my story, I'm telling other people's stories because I see other people's things around me as well. So in my music, it's not always literal, it's not always about me, but it's always going to be a story that has, I feel, is something that's worth saying and something worth sharing. But overall, I like to say that my music is about having a good time, and that's going to be the general kind of.
Tell me about this Cain and
Cain and Abel. So we the boys with swagger, we the boys who got the drip. You know what I'm saying? Got the swag, got the drip.
You got it, man.
And so my producer and I, who's very important to me because he kind of gave me an opportunity when most people, like I said earlier, weren't kind of giving me an opportunity. So that line is like a shout out to him basically to say that, hey, this brotherhood, it killed like Cain and Abel. So we know that Cain and Abel were brothers, and this brotherhood, this partnership of me and him working together, it's going to kill this game. It's going to murder this game. Like those brothers murdered each other. You know what I'm trying to say?
So Abel is about to go down.
That's what I'm trying to say is whoever's trying to be Abel and that side, know that I'm Cain,
Watch
and
out,
I got my mic, and I'm
Watch
from
out.
This is hip hop. You have to keep it savage. You know what I'm trying to say?
Okay, with this music industry, because I see this, the music that you do is just out of this world, man. But what's going on with this music nowadays? Because we don't get to hear you or being played on any radio stations. What are your challenges? What is the challenges? What is going on with hip hop and with this upcoming? Because we just hear like Nasty C's and all those that already made it. What's going on?
Yo, I'd have to say that from I'm not going to speak for everybody, I'm just going to speak for myself and say that from my personal perspective is hip-hoppers aren't doing enough, so I have to put the blame on us first before I put the blame on other people. You know, I'm trying to be responsible of it. It's our craft, my boy. It's our craft, it's our responsibility, our duty to make sure that hip-hop lives. And so whoever is in hip-hop, and I'm not calling people out straight, people are selling out, going to Amapiano, and for me it's like, yo, wait, for me, how I see hip-hop, how I live hip-hop is totality. I don't need another genre. I don't need anything else. I got hip-hop. Hip-hop is life and it is me. You understand? That's how I'm living my hip-hop. And when I see rappers turn to my piano just to sell records, just to get money, and they betraying hip-hop, which is funny to me because hip-hop elevated you to that platform where you can now do this and that. And for me, I'm not telling people what to do because like I said, I'm an artist. I'll get on an R&B song and rap. Understand? I'll get on a rap song and do R&B. Understand? I'm a writer and whatever fits. And I think it's important to understand in my music is I'm an interpreter of beats. I think that has to be said. And some people have met write rhymes and lyrics and they really want those rhymes and lyrics to be put out there. I've met people who want to put their rhymes and lyrics into beats that don't fit just because they're really trying to push that I'm this rapper, yeah, so like I'm saying is in hip hop now you're finding that you get a lot of traitors, and for me the beauty of language is it's explicit when it has to be explicit, and you can sugarcoat or you need to sugarcoat, but for me a traitor is a traitor. If hip hop is giving you a name in society and then you betray hip hop by giving another entity a bigger platform, when there's hungry hip hoppers out here who they're good peoples, understand? They're your brethren, they're hungry as well, and they want to get out the ghetto same as you did and have Lamborghini same as you did or whatever the case may be. You should be looking to facilitate that kind of growth if you're being a real hip hopper. But like I said, hip hop isn't what it is, and the people in the game right now, the people that are in control of hip hop right now, are making sure that the young up and coming hot. And hip hop is always about the youngest people. Understand? Your legends in the game, your Jay-Z's and so on and so forth. They've mastered a skill of longevity, which is good. But it's also you. Like I'm into Roddy Rich right now. Understand? He's a young boy, and like his whole style influenced my style. I'm like, okay, you can look at hip hop from this point of view. Understand? So I like the growth of hip hop, and so I'm into let's listen to the young man. I'm a young person in the game with a different point of view. I've been sending my stuff to radio, to be honest with you. I've been trying to push that because I'm an independent artist. You know, my stuff is on SoundCloud and Spotify and YouTube and everything. Understand?
So have you been playing on the radio?
I haven't been played on radio.
What might be the reason?
The response from the radio is thank you for your email. It's a generic response. Thank you for your email. If in 2 weeks you don't get whatever, then you know what's up, kind of buzz, you know. And for me, it's like, yo, this is my life, this is my art, and I'm questioning if somebody's taking the time to actually listen to what I'm saying. Because like my latest single, Ring Lights. Ring Lights is a beautiful song. It's a love song. It's today's modern day love song. I'm using today's language to express to you what love looks like today. Understand? Ring lights. We all have the lights and the glam around
and
us.
Besides that, your music is not just music. You learn from the music that you see. It's not just about playing it on the clubs or playing it on the streets.
Yes.
It's actually teaching the streets.
Well, at the end of the day, is the real hip hopper has that responsibility with his words. Like anybody with their words has responsibilities. And I know there's a lot of clout, and hip hop is savage and all of those attitudes, which is good because we need to appreciate who we are and have that strength. But also, like how we spoke about that song from Nas, I Know I Can. That's one song in particular where the words are so particular and so uplifting that we need that in hip hop as well. You understand? So I'm a guy who uses his words carefully, and I want to be a motivator of goodness. But I'm savage, man. And if you're gonna come at me sideways, you're gonna feel the savageness because that's how it is. You know, I'm a Zulu. And we're warriors in nature as well, so we don't start nothing, you know, but we finish something. That's the belief system. And
circumcised you.
I mean, hey, we circumcise your understanding of life, my man, if you don't understand fully, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I'll say about that, man. Just, we keep it savage to the extent, but I don't want to be a person who pushes the idea of violence. Like, I'm very peaceful, and I love the idea of peace, I love the idea of unity, because there's more progress in that, because the real issues out here, they're not going to be solved through violence and anything associated. That's my personal belief anyway. So even if in my raps you hear such violence, it's because it's the reality of life. But in essence, I'm not a person who thinks that we need to speak too much about that.
In that same song, you also mentioned about Zoroba or something like that. What were you trying to say?
The beauty of, thank you to my English teachers, because I went to Stanford secondary, you know, and my English teachers, they taught me metaphors, man. They taught me how to look and use language in such a way, you know what I'm saying? So when I said that to Roba, the end of that line goes back to be all the way up in the charts. And so what am I doing? I'm hijacking this game. I have to hijack this game. Nobody's going to give me hip hop. Hip hop has to be taken. That's the beauty of hip hop, is the attitude behind it. You choose a name. And then you choose a philosophy for yourself, you stand on something, and then you go for it, and you kill the word, and then hip-hop elevates you. It gives you money, it gives you status. You should be loyal at that point, but not everybody is.
People that understands the art of
hip-hop.
Because some people will not understand what we're trying to say, because it's like wrapped in a shell. So when they listen to the song and they just thought, oh, this guy is talking about the raw people in the streets and all that.
I was recording just like 2-3 weeks ago or whatever, and I heard a song of other guys that I recorded from a producer. I'm a Faranji, that's what they call themselves. I'm a Faranji in South Africa is like a hobo, whatever. So this group has that kind of philosophy. And I think they kind of live that lifestyle. Yo, some of the stuff they were saying was dark, you know what I mean? But for me, it was like, that's a reality. And it's like they're not getting played either, you know what I'm saying? So I'm one of those people who I really, when it comes back to the question at hand of what's stopping me from being played on radio, it's not just me. I'm not gonna come out here and be like, yo, this is an issue for me.
But what needs to be changed?
Maybe nothing.
Or if
maybe
you were
nothing.
in the authority
Right now,
what would you change? What would be your input?
I'm gonna say this, right? We have independence right now. I'm an independent artist, right? Everything that is my music right now I can say without being arrogant is off my back. It's all me. It's all me. There's no investor, there's no nothing. The petrol, whatever, it's all me. You understand? And so with that, I'm growing and I'm growing. The more money it makes me, the more I'm gonna put back into it. And that's true hip hop. You understand what I'm trying to say? I don't need to go kiss anybody's ass. And that's why nothing has to change for me personally. We just have to be stronger in ourselves. And maybe then build a community amongst ourselves in that strength. That could be the change. Us coming together and saying that, yo, we don't need radio to play our stuff. We have a platform, shout out to Inferno. We have a platform right here.
Inferno 101.
Inferno 101.
Place to be.
We start Inferno Radio. And I said, I'm a forward thinker where I don't need handouts. You know, one of the first independent organizations in Africa we had was the AU, the African Organization of Labour, right? And my understanding of history when I did, it's like those organizations have to go back and still seek a handout somewhere. Whenever we establish something as a people, we always have to go back to get the handouts. I'm not about that handout life. I'm saying you're a king, you're a queen, and you know you are. Understand? And so in that instance of let's stand alone. Look at me. I'm doing this. I'm gonna do this. This is an interview to show you that this is the process.
And also in that song, it also gives us, even though we have those things to be clarified, but also I think it's much clearer because you said you are boys of dreams. So I mean, it's kind of.
If you come to KZN, I think to explain the song in itself, right? It's recorded in KZN. The vibration and the feeling was there with the people that I know, and my upbringing KZN has been a thing of come the weekend, you pull up boxy, back of the boot, location somewhere at the beach at whoever's house or whatever. It's a party. Everybody's worked hard throughout the week. Everybody's working hard. This life is difficult, you know. So people wanna, and South Africa is that nation, you know. So Swag Boys is that song where we chilling, we those guys, but know that we those guys, man, because we're happy, because life is good, and it's not only good in terms of.
You're in the Garden of Eden.
No, come again?
That's why you're in the Garden of Eden.
That's what I'm saying. Is we're living in this paradise. It's not just financially good, but things of knowledge are good.
You also write the song Eden.
For me, in understanding myself, it's understanding man. And there's no truer story of man than the biblical stories of man. I don't think science has come with a proper story of man or anything. Most people rely on this. And it's up until a new revelation or a new book is discovered, this is, understand, what man is proper like. This is a pretty good book. And so a lot of my feeling and understanding is a reflection of the characters in that book. You understand? And that book has so many different characters, so many different situations, and so in my music you will hear certain things because I remember when I read the book, this happened to so and so is more important than Tom, Joe, or Henry because they're prophets and they're in the book at the very least, you understand? So if I say their name, it makes sense. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Charles Darwin at all. Oh, I can't believe you mentioned that. I'm not a fan of Charles Darwin. That's a different story for another day, though. I'm not a fan of Charles Darwin. Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next maybe 2 years or so? Atlanta?
You know, we spoke off camera, so you mentioned the ATL. I like the idea of I moved from KwaZulu-Natal to Cape Town. I've been here for a few years now, and so I'm not afraid of traveling. I'm not afraid of moving. I don't mind moving anywhere within Africa, to be honest with you. I know that the music scene is popping in Nigeria, understand? So I'm a brother who doesn't mind placing myself in Nigeria to learn what those people know and get that feeling. And so I'm into Afro sound. You know, I was on about people, and I love my piano too. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's not a thing of not loving what other African sound. I'm just speaking from a hip hop point of view. Understand? So I love the Afro beats. Burna Boy, massive fan. Me, massive fan. In a few years we'll be working with Burna Boy. That's part of the idea. You know what I'm saying? God willing, we'll be working with Burna Boy. And yeah, these people are in the States. Our African artists are in the States because in reality, we're a third world. That's what we're told. And I don't want to be first in the third world. I want to be first in the first world kind of thing. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's not even a thing of trying to be I'm hard or whatever. But this is me. This is the hip hop I represent. And you're going to find it difficult to represent something different around me. That's one thing I know. So I want to go to the States. I want to bring to the States maybe those that don't know as much as I think they don't know what hip hop is. Maybe it's going to sound better coming from a voice of a person who comes from this place called KwaZulu-Natal. And you know, people look at things in funny ways and appreciate things in certain ways when it comes from, look at Trevor Noah. We're not going to say how many comedians in the world, and his position as a South African puts him in that kind of fold. So I see that. My name is Trevor, it's funny enough. And it's like, is this the destiny of Trevor? So I would like that to happen. But I am focused on my people. the goal of going to the States is being first in the first world, but in essence, I'm gonna be buried right here with my people, and the things of goodness that I want to do are here for my people. Yeah.
Guys, with a PDF here. We need days and days.
Yeah. We need a part
download
2,
this
3.
PDF.
Yeah.
Just give us the buzz then, just to
Yeah.
close up.
Yeah.
With your host, KG, give us your buzz.
In terms of where to get me and stuff like that. So it's Mr. Ballon. It's Mr. Ballon. I think if you search that, I made it official on Google because I be official like that. You know what I'm saying? So Google knows who I am. Google me. You know what I'm saying? I'm on YouTube, Mr. Ballon. That's where most of my stuff is played. I'm on all the platforms, to be honest, because I'm using DistroKid. Shout out to DistroKid and all that. Platform for unsigned artists like myself, you know. So these platforms help us, you know. I'm not sure how trustworthy they are because I'm skeptical about things, you know. But I give thanks nonetheless, you know. And yeah, you find me on all platforms. On my Instagram, it's Mr. Bolondo. On Facebook, it's Trevor Kumalo. You can also type Mr. Bolondo and you'll find me there. So if you need to contact me for gigs, we can speak. I'm a whole faceted person. It's not just the music. I'm a father, I'm a brother. Yeah, whatever it is that you think I could be for you, I'm willing to listen at the very least. You know what I'm saying? Time is money, as they say, so make it quick, make it snappy. You know what I'm saying? Unless the composition is money, then you can take your time. You know what I'm trying to say? So, yeah. This is me, man. I believe in the greats. Shout out to Muhammad Ali. I have to do this. The same way I started with the forefathers, I have to give reference to all the people that influenced the man that I am. Bob Marley, your Malcolm X's. These are people. These are humans, and there's no color that's needed for a human being. Understand? And that for me is the true beautiful story. Is the human story, the success story. That's what my story is. Is I want to be a blueprint for the human success. You will find with me nothing but unity, love, understanding, empathy, sympathy, all of that good stuff. Cross me and you will find a savage because, man.
INFERNO giving you nothing but the very best of what's happening in the streets today. We're in the streets of KZN.
It's Mr. Ballon.
The house of people.
Yes. We need to re-establish it, man. This is going to be beautiful for all those who are going to see this and understand.
I think in the Bible I would say KZN.
Genesis, yeah, it could be the garden. You know, with TikTok nowadays, you know, I've been watching these things and I saw this one particular thing that mentioned the garden actually somewhere in the Eastern Cape, if I'm being honest with you, in the Siki, you know. And I said to myself, why not? You know, we live in the time of the why not, and the garden could be in the Siki, and we are those people. And all we have to do is rise to being those people for ourselves, because we need it more than anybody else. You know, when I do my music, like I said, everything's on me. I recently drove from Cape Town through the Eastern Cape all the way to KZN. Understand? And that was a beautiful drive. Difficulties in the drive, but I saw my people, I saw me, I saw us, and for me, I was so happy that even in our difficulty, we have so much life, we have so much goodness, you know. But
talking about Eden,
yes,
just give us a freestyle, or just give us that Eden song as we close up. Just give us that. Just give us the intro.
Talking Eden, baby, you know that I'm a hazard. It's Mr. Ballon, you know what ball, I set the standard. I taught her how to juggle, now she got it down and mastered. She going faster and faster. Oh baby, slow down. You know you like it. Come on, man.
INFERNO 101 reality show.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Bye.